Srinivas Nitai Prabhu with us. A brief introductions and background of Srinivas Nitai Prabhu. Prabhu is a chemical engineer graduate from Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. He is here on an official trip. He's meeting some professors, and he recently gave a talk at the University of Toronto on quantum mechanics. He was introduced to the process of bhakti and Krishna consciousness in a very young age, but he took it up seriously in his college and university days, and it was through a university program on quantum mechanics, and was very inspired by a speaker who connected the teachings of Bhagavad Gita into quantum mechanics. And since then, he's really taken up to the process of Krishna consciousness to his heart. And for over 30 years now, he's been serving at IIT Madras, doing university programs, university outreach, connecting with a lot of students and aspiring people. And he tries to connect through the professional way on quantum mechanics talks, and he presents the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam perspective to it. So he's here today for the very first time visiting our temple and also speaking at our temple for the Sunday Feast program. He's also known for giving a lot of Bhakti Virsha classes, organizing Janmashtami programs at schools in Chennai. We're very happy that he's here to inaugurate this special Kartik month. So please join me in welcoming him by giving a big round of applause.
Gopi श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सहप्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So today we will talk from the Bhagavad Gita chapter 10 verses 8, 9, 10 and 11. They are said to be the seed verses of the Bhagavad Gita. Just like the Bhagavatam, there are 4 essential verses spoken to Lord Brahma. Similarly, the Bhagavad Gita, if you want to just get the essence in 4 verses, you can find in this chapter. So we'll try to relate these 4 verses to the Damodar pastime as well. The main title of today's session was Impossible becomes possible by the grace of the Lord. Because in the Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, Krishna is saying, Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Ma Evaye Prapadyante Mayametam Tarantite. This energy, divine energy of mind is very difficult to overcome, but it is possible by surrendering to me. So same thing we can see in this pastime of Damodar, how the Lord reciprocates. The greatness of the Lord is He is someone who can reciprocate with us. He is the only one who can reciprocate, and we can reciprocate Him in the perfect way. So we'll quickly see these verses. Very elaborate purport Prabhu is given, but because of time we'll just look into the translation. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So in these 2 verses, that is 8 and 9, Lord Krishna is trying to explain what we should do from our side. And then what He will do from His side, that will be elaborated in the next verses 10 and 11. So in the Damodar pastime also we see the main message is that we have to endeavor. And because in the Bhagavad Gita also it says Karmanyevadhikaraste. There are 5 subjects in Bhagavad Gita, and among that the 5th subject, that is karma, is the only thing which is in our hands. That Lord will not take away from us. We cannot change the Ishvara, we cannot change other living entities, we cannot change Prakriti, we cannot control time. The only thing which is in our hands is karma, or the duties we perform. That even Lord will not touch that. Karmanyevadhikaraste, we have that right. That is what we can do to change our destiny. The destiny is in our hands, provided we use that free will properly. And then what does the Lord do on His behalf? Ma fileshu kadachana, He is saying that you don't have to bother about the results, because if you do your work properly, the results are assured. Because that's how the Lord has designed this creation, whether it's in the material world or spiritual world, it is perfect. Only the rules are slightly different. The rule is that you have to do your duty properly, and that duty later Krishna elaborates This is Bhakti Yoga. So, what does it mean, Prabhava? Aham Sarvasya Prabhava means Prabhu means master. He is the controller. How do we know he is the master? Lord has different forms. Prabhava Vilasa, Prabhava Prakasha, Vaibhava Vilasa and Vaibhava Vilasa. So different forms, different activities, different names, different qualities the Lord exhibits, from which we know that he is the master of both the material and spiritual worlds. So someone may say, I don't see the Lord in this material world. So how do I know he is the master? So just like I may not see the Prime Minister, President on a daily basis, but whatever system he has established is what is governing all of us. Similarly, we may not see directly the presence of the Lord as the master or the controller, but nevertheless, those who are realized souls, who have studied the scriptures and have experienced it, know very clearly that everything is perfectly in control of the Lord, whether it's in the material world or even if we go to the spiritual world. So better we practice this, accepting that Lord is the controller in every situation of our lives and everyone else's life. So that is the first step we have to take, to accept that he is the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from me. So next verse is Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Pravartate means Parivartan. Parivartan means change is happening. After something is created, immediately some change has to happen. So that Pravartate, subsequent actions also is made possible by the Supreme Lord. So then, Iti Matva Bhajante Mam. So one who has realized this, perfectly know this. So it is not theoretical, it is practically, we should know this. So someone may say, no, I don't have any practical knowledge. So there are people who have practical knowledge. Just like any subject we learn, initially we are a novice. We don't know much about it. We don't have experience in that. But when we see experienced people practicing that, then we get faith in that. Similarly, there are people who know this for sure, that Krishna is the controller and he is the maintainer. And then what do they do? They engage in my devotional service with all their hearts, which means wholeheartedly. What is devotional service? Engaging body, mind and words. God has given us everything that required to do devotion. We have words, we have all the senses, we can engage them nicely, and this is the essence of this particular verse. So the next verse also will go forward. Macchitta madgata pranam bodhayanta parasparam Kadayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So what we should do further, the Lord is explaining here. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. So just like Arjuna is being told by Lord Krishna, while remembering me you fight. If we have to do our duties properly, we should also be able to remember Krishna simultaneously. So that's the instruction Lord Krishna gave to Arjuna. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. We have to do our duty, but at the same time we have to know how to remember Krishna. So the thoughts of my pure devotees here is mentioned. Pure devotees means he is only remembering Krishna. And their lives are fully dedicated to my service. So whatever mind, body, words they are using, they have full realization as to for whom Krishna also told to Arjuna, Sarva dharman paridhyajya mamekam sharanam vraj. So what is the benefit of that? And they derive great satisfaction and bliss. So in this process, it is joyfully performed. The 9th chapter also Krishna says, Aja vidya rajaguhim pavitram pratyakshagam dharmam susukam. It's easily performed, joyfully performed. Bhakti, if you know it properly, is very easy and joyful. And great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So once you are practicing something, it becomes very easy for you to talk about it. So we don't have to put an effort to practice it or even to talk about it. So this comes very naturally to them. The Krishna Prabhupada explains that how do you recognize a devotee? He is one who is able to talk about Krishna all the time. So then one question may arise, if he is only talking about Krishna, does he do any work? Obviously yes. These have to go parallelly. Person who is talking also works for Krishna, and person who works for Krishna is also able to talk about Krishna. So then, having done this two part from our side, what does the Lord do is explained in the 10 and 11 verses. Tesham satata yuktanam vajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me, so this becomes spontaneous, the devotion becomes spontaneous. For them, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, Priti Purvakam it says. When there is love only, the service will come out. Love and serve, this is the motto of some of the, when I studied in my school. So, when there is love, there is service, and when there is service, you will know that there is love. So, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Here the Lord gives the understanding by which we can come to Him. Because it is said that Vedyeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atmavaktam. So in the Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, Krishna says, I am the object of the Vedas. From the Vedas I am to be known. But at the same time it is said, it's very difficult to understand Lord through the Vedas. Just like if I give an authentic book and tell you get all the knowledge in this book, still you may wonder if really you will be able to understand it. So same is the case that even if the Vedas are revealed to us, still without devotion it is not possible to get the essence. Adurlabam Atma Bhakto. So that's what Krishna says here, that I give the understanding by which they can come to me. First he talked about the knowledge, and then comes the understanding. That's like you eat food. Sometimes people eat food but still they don't become healthy. Why? Because they are not able to digest it properly. So this digestion process is like understanding. And the last verse says, Tesham evanukampatum aham ajnanajam tamaham nashayam yatma bhavasto jnanadipena vasvatam. So Lord goes one step further. That is, one may say that yes, I know, I understand, but I am still struggling in my practice. I am failing, repeatedly I am failing. So what should we do? We give it up? Then the Lord says the final assurance, to show them special mercy. The Lord is not partial to anyone. He is equal, even if an atheist, He is giving you mercy. But when you are a pure devotee, He gives special mercy. So what is that special mercy? To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, He is with you, just like Lord Krishna was with Arjuna. He is willing to be with us also. He is not partial. Destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So first the Lord comes to us in the form of knowledge. He reveals Himself in the form of knowledge, then understanding, then we are able to practice and get the benefit. So this is the today's set of 4 important verses which we should know to understand, practice and Krishna consciousness get derive the benefit. So the Damodar pastime, as we all know, Lord Krishna, when he was a child, he was just woke up. That particular day was Diwali. This pastime happened on Diwali, which should be coming shortly, I think on November 12th or so. So on that particular day, all the servants in the house were busy making all the preparations. And Mother Ashoda thought that it is her own duty to prepare the butter from the milk. And particularly Nanda Nanda Maharaj had special cows which were fed special grass, and that particular milk was being churned by Mother Yashoda on this day. And because Mother Yashoda saw that Krishna is regularly going out and stealing butter from others' houses, and they were complaining to her. Of course, this is a pastime of the Lord, because he is always trying to connect with his devotees. But then Mother Yashoda thought that my child, if he is fed the best butter and milk, he will not do this again. So while she was churning this butter, Krishna just woke up and he came and stopped her from churning, and indirectly he indicated that he wanted to be fed her breast milk. So mother lovingly took him on his lap, embraced him, and started feeding him her breast milk. While this was going on, she noticed that she had put a pot of milk on the stove and that was about to boil over. So she was caught between two responsibilities. Just like when we have set a goal, we end up having to do many things simultaneously and we may get confused. So this dilemma was there before even Mother Yashoda, whether to feed Krishna her breast milk or go and stop the milk from boiling over. So but then she, because the no servants were around, she thought she would put aside Krishna for a while and go and attend to it. But then Krishna became angry that his service was interrupted. And so he became, of course God doesn't become angry because he is not controlled by any of the three modes. But as a reciprocation with the devotee, he also expresses these feelings, and so that it's very natural and spontaneous. So he took a small bit of stone and threw it at the pot and made a hole sufficient enough to not break the pot, but at the same time spill out all its contents. So when Mother Yashoda comes back, she sees that the Krishna is not there and the pot is broken and the butter is strewn all over. So she immediately understands that it's the act of Krishna only. Only Krishna can so expertly break the pot and also disappear from this place. So she started looking for Krishna. So Krishna went into another room. He climbed on a grinding mortar which was turned upside down, and while standing over it, he tried to steal butter which was kept in the pots. And not only was he consuming it, he was distributing it to the monkeys. As we know, Lord Krishna was Lord Ramachandra in the previous cycle. So he wanted to reciprocate with his devotees who were vanaras. So the Lord, once you do devotional service, it's to our eternal credit. So the Lord continues to repay for that. So he chose to feed the monkeys, and Mother Yashoda, while she was trying to find Krishna, she noticed this, and immediately the Krishna became alert, and so he started running from there. So but then Mother Yashoda also did not give up. She continued to run behind him and with a stick in her hand, and because of her weight and her age, she was not able to catch up with Krishna, although he was a small child. And eventually she was becoming tired, and all the hairs on her hair was coming loose and all the flowers were falling on the ground. But Krishna took pity on her and allowed himself to be caught by her. So the Acharyas are explaining that this shows that the Lord is merciful, Bhakta Vatsalya. He is the only one who can reciprocate perfectly with us. So he understood that the trouble she was going through. Sometimes we are putting so much effort, the other person is not aware of what we are putting and why we are putting that much effort and what is expected in return. But Krishna knows exactly how much effort we are putting and what is the result we deserve. So he became merciful to her. Although the yogis are trying to capture Krishna, why are they trying to capture Krishna? Because they want mystical powers. And some jnanis, they are also trying to capture Krishna through knowledge. But their objective is to get liberation, impersonal liberation. And the karmis also, they are working very hard because they want fruitive results. But Krishna cannot be captured by them, only by unalloyed pure devotional service. So what is it? We do not know. But when we hear about these pastimes, at least we develop that mood, and eventually our activities will become transformed in that particular way. So when eventually Krishna was caught, he started pretending as if he was very afraid, especially of the stick. So then Mother Yashoda threw away the stick, thinking that my child will develop some phobia, and he started crying also. These tears were quite natural. It was not artificial tears. He was naturally producing tears. Although Yamaraj himself is afraid of Lord Krishna, here we see Krishna is afraid of Mother Yashoda. So all the feelings which we normally express among ourselves, here we can see Lord Krishna. First he was afraid, he was angry before that, and now he is crying. And while crying, he started rubbing his eyes. And Mother Yashoda had nicely decorated his eyes with a black ointment, and that was started smearing all over his face, and that increased his beauty. Normally, if we erase our cosmetic or makeup, it makes, the beauty is lost. But here, the beauty was increasing. And Mother Yashoda thought that my child has become now afraid. So what should I do? She immediately threw away the stick. But at the same time, she thought maybe he will leave home. Sometimes children, when they are chastised too much, they may go home, out of the home. So she thought two purposes will be served if I bind him to this grinding mortar. Because he used this grinding mortar to do the mischief. So I will, just like two thieves are there, catch both of them and give jointly them a punishment. So she thought she can punish both the grinding mortar which helped Krishna and Krishna himself by binding them together. So two purposes will be served. One is he will not do any more mischief, and maybe out of fear he may run away. So to keep him in the home, she decided to bind him. So what she does, she gets the rope to bind him to the grinding mortar, but no matter how long she tries, it's always 2 fingers short. So the whole universe is within the abdomen of Lord Krishna. How do we know that? Mother Yashoda, when she opened the mouth of Krishna, the friends of Lord Krishna were complaining that Krishna is eating earth, and Mother Yashoda wanted to find out if it was true, and she asked Krishna to open his mouth, and once he did that, she could see the whole universe and including herself in that mouth of Krishna. So although nobody is able to catch Krishna or bind Krishna, she was attempting this to bind Krishna out of love. So while this 2 fingers short, what does it indicate? The Acharyas are explaining. Why do we need Acharya's commentary? Because as it is, if we read, we will not understand the scriptures. Although, just like a medicine is given to us, it may be medicine, very potent medicine, but if I don't know how to take it, I won't get the benefit. So although Krishna is available in the form of scriptures, the saintly people and the spiritual master, still we need some guidance. So the Acharyas are able to think from our point of view and explain the scriptures in a better way. So it is told that we have to put our effort. Just like Arjuna also had to fight the battle by himself. Although the result was assured, Krishna showed in the universal form, but still Arjuna had to do his job. So that's why we say karmanyevadikaraste. What is our karma? Actually our original only duty is bhakti. In that bhakti all karma, jnana, everything is included. So when the effort is required, so how to put that effort, why to put that effort, and everything is clearly given to us. We have to just take it. Just like if you said after this program it will be served some prasadam. So for that we have to put some effort to eat that also. So same way we have to do some effort to do our duty, and then Krishna will immediately reciprocate. Why Krishna is not reciprocating? Because we are not putting the right effort. So we have to constantly correct ourselves. So that's the only we can see in the Brahma Vimohan Leela in the 10th canto, again in the earlier chapter 13, chapter 14 chapter, we see that Brahma tries to bewilder Lord Krishna. But then Krishna produces cowherd boys and all the cows, and when these cowherd boys and cows are substituting for the original cowherd boys and cows, the parents, that's the cowherds and the cows, they develop so much attraction for the cows and the cowherd boys. So this pastime shows that only Krishna can reciprocate thus perfectly. and we can reciprocate only with Krishna. We are trying to fulfill all our obligations to so many, but we are failing. And we are doing so much to others, but they are not able to fulfill the obligations back to us. So this is a constant factor in this world. We are so much indebted to others and so many are indebted to us. We can never repay this debt. But only with Krishna it is possible to reciprocate perfectly. And we can see in the Rasa Leela also Krishna is showing that he can individually reciprocate with everyone. The 16,108 queens were there. Each one had an individual palace. And Narada, sage Narada personally witnessed how he is able to reciprocate with them differently. So we are all individuals. But Krishna can reciprocate like he reciprocated to all the cows. Krishna keeps track of all the billion cows he has. And he knows by them by the name, qualities, everything. So that this you can see in this pastime that he allows himself to be tied by Mother Yashoda. And does the pastime end there? No. Then there is a curse by sage Narada to the sons of Kubera, Nalakura and Manigriva. They were worshippers of Lord Shiva and they had gained lot of opulence. We see sometimes the devotees of Lord Vishnu, they are not very opulent, whereas the devotees of Lord Shiva, they become very rich. So these sons of Kubera, they were maddened by their opulence, and so much so they did not respect Narada Muni or the social etiquette. So when Narada Muni saw that their pitiable condition, he cursed them to be born as trees. In the scriptures it is mentioned that there are 84 lakh species. Among that there are 20 lakhs of trees. So why? Because of extreme display of lust, one was born as a tree. And these trees were cursed to be born as be in the courtyard of Yamraj. Although Narada Muni cursed, it was a blessing. That is the greatness of a saintly person. Not only does he try to correct us, but he also benedicts us. So that's the benefit of being in the association of devotees. So Narada Muni, although he cursed them for their wrongdoings, he benedicted them by being allowed to witness the pastimes of Lord Krishna in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaja. So when Krishna was tied to this mortar, he pulled it in between those three trees, and with that force he was able to uproot them and deliver them. So this is the Damodar pastime. So in this month, whatever devotion we do will fetch us multiple benefits. Just like we have a discount sale. Some companies try to promote something, they announce a discount, 50%, 75% discount. So in this month, whatever devotion we do, just like the Purushottam month we recently had, that appears once in 3 years. So these months are opportunities for us to take up to devotion and increase our devotion and immediately see the results. So we said impossible. Why is it impossible? Because Krishna says we are going against the plan of the Lord. Why is the Lord obstructing our plan? No, he knows that it's not good for us. He only wants to give good. That is the definition of God. Whether you are favorable or not favorable to him, he is always thinking for your good. So therefore his plan is such that it's always for our good. But we don't understand this, and therefore things become impossible. The moment we align with the plan of the Lord, it becomes very easy, joyful, easy, susukam, very clear, no confusion, no difficulty, and the result is immediately available to us. So this pastime, this particular month, we can derive this benefit by hearing about this pastime again and again, talking about this pastime, offering a lamp, singing the Damodara Ashtakam, and taking some little austerity. That's all I would like to say, because Krishna says, Ye yatamam prapadyante tamstayateva bhajamyaham. To the extent that we surrender to him, he reciprocates. Like we see, when we worship Krishna, he also worships us. That we don't find in this world. It is one way, all the relations are one way. But in the case of Krishna, we see he is also worshipping his father and mother, and he is also respecting Yudhishthira Maharaj, and he is also washing the feet of the guests in the Rajasuya sacrifice, and as Lord Rama is worshipping Lord Shiva, So that only God can do. When whatever you do, He will reciprocate in much more ways. That only Lord Krishna can do, as you can see in this pastime. So maybe I'll end here. Any questions or comments, please feel free to ask.
Once again, Srinivas Nitai Prabhu. We have a couple of minutes for a quick question. So if anybody has anything that you'd like to ask Prabhu, we have. Okay, we'll just take one question from Prabhu.
Hi, Krishna. You told out of choice and plan, there are 20 legs are plants, right? So if I'm a vegetarian, I'm a plant-based diet and something, so does that mean that's also a sinful thing? That's what my question is. If there are 20 legs, so I'm eating plants, so that means something is wrong with that.
Can't hear you properly. Or you can repeat what you said.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is out of 64 lakh humans, 20 lakhs are plant-based, so 20 lakhs. Just not told when Krishna liberated the son of Kuber. That point you told 20 lakh units are for plant-based. So if I'm a plant-based, I take plant-based diet, so does that mean I'm doing some sinful activities? If yes, then what is the way out of it?
Yeah, so plants, although it is the fact that we are given a particular body, but at the same time the body doesn't belong to us only. It's given by us to serve. So this plants, when they get the body, that is Jivo Jivasya Jivan. There's a statement which says that although we are being given this body, it is meant to serve others. Of course, in our case, we are not throwing away our body for others to eat. But as far as plants are concerned, their service is by offering their shade. You see, some trees are giving some shade, they are giving their branches as wood, they are giving their leaves, the flowers, fruits. So, their life, they get deliverance from that body by serving others. So, by taking that particular plant and offering to Krishna, you are elevating that soul within that plant body. But at the same time, Krishna says in the 3rd chapter that you have to offer it with the devotion in the proper way. That previously, even animals were offered in sacrifice, but they knew the art of delivering that animal by chanting proper mantras. Even if the animal was offered in sacrifice, immediately to get a human birth. So that science we should know. So therefore we cannot indiscriminately kill the plants, but in a proper mood of sacrifice we should do it as an offering to Krishna, and then that plant will get deliverance. And particularly in this month of Kartik, it's advisable that you avoid non-veg. So it is very pleasing to the Lord. It may look a little difficult to undertake this austerity, but the moment you do it, you see there is a reciprocation. How all of us could change our habits or practices. We just attempted it once, and immediately Krishna reciprocates. So thank you. I hope I answered your question. Anyhow, that plant is going to die, but if you offer it in the proper way, both you benefit and the plant also benefits.
Thank you once again, Srinivas Nitai Prabhu. Let's do a big round of applause for being here with us this evening. This auspicious month of Kartik. We have some announcements, and then we'll be serving prasad in about 10 minutes. We would like to once again thank Srinivas Nitai Prabhu because he's also sponsored towards today's feast. And if anybody else is interested to contribute towards the Sunday feast, prasadam, or any other service in the temple, it's a great month to take up some devotional service. So, to express our gratitude, let's chant the Mahamantra once for Srinivas Nitai Prabhu for his contribution for the feast and for the wonderful class today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you once again.